A trip to Hampi can be one of the most memorable experiences of a lifetime. Situated on the banks of the Tungabhadra river, the historical ruins of Hampi from the 15th-16th century Vijaynagara Empire is located in the state of Karnataka. Entire Hampi has been designated as UNESCO World Heritage Site. The 4 complete days that we spent exploring Hampi seemed too less. I feel 1 week is the minimum time necessary to vividly explore this magical land. In this vlog, we would be exploring some of the well-known heritage spots at Hampi, the first being the Badavi linga, a Shiva lingam situated inside a stone chamber. The Badavi lingam has existed from the time of the Vijaynagara Empire and is made out of black stone. This stone chamber has no ceiling, so during daytime, sunlight enters through the open roof, lighting up the entire chamber. The huge Shiva lingam is 12 feet in height and its base always remains submerged into the water due to a water channel that passes continuously through the chamber. Situated next to the Badavi linga is the Ugra Narashima idol made out from a single rock and is also the biggest idol in Hampi with a height of 22 feet. This is a fierce or terrifying form of Narashima, one of the 10 avatars of Lord Vishnu. It is one of the iconic structures at Hampi. Originally, an idol of goddess Lakshmi was present along with Narasimha, but during the raid of Hampi by the Deccan sultans, the statue of goddess Lakshmi was mutilated and completely destroyed. The broken statue of Lakshmi is now kept at the Hampi Museum. If you take a closer look, the hand of goddess Lakshmi can still be found embracing Narasimha. The ruins of Hampi are the finest examples of the magnitude of creative potential in human, and at the same time, its ruins with the signs of massive vandalism are an example of the destructive mindset due to human ignorance. Our next stop was at the Krishna Temple, which was under renovation. A trip to Hampi is not just a holiday, but it is also about gaining an insight, learning about one of India's greatest empire which ruled for more than 2 centuries during the medieval period. This temple was built by the Emperor Krishna Raya in the year 1513 to commemorate his victory over Utkal, or the kingdom of Udaygiri in modern-day Orissa. It stands inside a walled enclosure on an open courtyard. There are numerous temples of different sizes inside the open courtyard. The walls and pillars of the temple have many beautiful carvings and paintings. As renovation work was on, so we spent only a few minutes of time over here. Located opposite to the Krishna Temple is the Krishna Bazaar, one of the 4 main markets or trade centers of Hampi. The Krishna Bazaar is set on a low-lying land, and this site was found and excavated much later. Earlier it was hidden under mud and was mainly used for banana tree plantations. Before the excavations, it was impossible to tell that it was a medieval-era business center of the Vijaynagara Empire. There are long rows of pillared stone pavilions which was once a buzzing marketplace. As we walked more into the interiors of the ruins of the bazaar, we found a centrally located pushkarini or pond which was probably the main source of water supply for this market area. The Krishna Bazaar was a thriving market for foreign traders who visited Hampi with various goods in exchange for gold, silver and precious gems. The ruins of Hampi, though vandalized and raided, still look grand and tells us volumes about their glorious past. Hampi was ranked second among the must-visit global destinations as per the New York Times list in 2019. It is a pity that today many Indians are unaware of its grand past. Domingo Pais, a Portuguese traveller who visited Vijaynagara Empire during its heydays, wrote in his memoir stating Vijaynagara as large as Rome and very beautiful to the eyes. Next we went near the banks of the picturesque Tungabhadra river with its striking landscape of gigantic boulders strewn all over with the river flowing in between. It was almost time for sunset and there was a huge rush of visitors who had queued up near the bank to experience the coracle ride. We decided to postpone our coracle ride for that evening and planned to come back next day morning. We then proceeded to climb towards the Hemakuta hill, which is one of the best sunset points at Hampi. A flight of short steps through the hill took us to the top. You can see that in those days also, people over here built double-storied buildings. Once you reach the top, the gentle sloping hill gives a splendid view of the surrounding landscape and boulder hills scattered with ruins everywhere. There are ruins of arches, temples and pillars all along. In fact, wherever you look around in Hampi, you will find multiple ruins of beautiful structures everywhere. It tells us of a time when Hampi was a prosperous and busy city. It is a walk into a grand history. Hampi today, as we see, is the shadow of a vast empire. Virupaksha Temple, the iconic structure of Hampi, looked splendid from a distance. Hemakuta Hill is considered to be one of the best places for viewing sunrise and sunset. It is easier to climb than most other hills over here. A beautiful carving from Ramayana on stone. Our day ended with mesmerizing views of the sunset from the top of the Hemakuta hill. Sunsets are proofs that endings can often be beautiful. The mighty kingdom of Vijaynagara might have ended long back, but the treasure of history and knowledge that it has left behind is priceless. Hope all Indians will understand its true value someday. After spending a long day exploring Hampi, we came back to our resort Mayura Bhuvaneshwari. It was dark all around, but the resort was lit up with lots of glittering lights. We retired for the night and geared up for another exciting day of exploration. Join us in our next video to enjoy the coracle ride through the mighty Tungabhadra river.
और वो साइड में आप बता रहे कि बल्लारी डिस्ट्रिक्ट है और ये साइड में कोप्पल। अच्छा।